Hey Mama, it's Jocelyn and welcome to the Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I always say and probably begin these podcasts the same way, but it's how I feel. I am looking forward to sharing more about positivity in pregnancy with you and trying to make pregnancy, which can be a very hard season, a little bit better. Thank you for joining. Something that allows this podcast to be found by other mothers and other pregnant women who are struggling is if you give this a rating and review, specifically on iTunes. It really does make a difference on how often my show will pop up if I have more ratings. I think I'm sitting at like 17 ratings right now. So if you guys haven't given me a rating and review on iTunes, I would really appreciate it. It would be so cool to get up to 20 after this episode airs. So that's just 3 of you that haven't done it yet. If you would do that for me, those are the best payments for listening to this podcast. They make me so happy and help other women to find this podcast. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, host of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life, and I can help you. Thanks for joining. Do you ever just have hard times where it's really hard to get out of a funk that you're in? I have recently had a few days, we were sick for a while, and then it's been hard to get out of that funk and feeling like I have been stuck. And I have been kind of analyzing and dwelling on this and wondering why. And I was trying to recognize the thoughts I was thinking. And I noticed that a lot of the thoughts I was thinking kept going back to how I didn't really feel beautiful, how I didn't feel pretty, how I am kind of frustrated with a little bit of the way I look, or maybe a lot frustrated. And so we're actually going to talk about that today, about being okay with getting big and gaining weight in pregnancy and growing a belly. It has been harder for me to go through that transition than I thought it would be. I thought that I would just think, oh, I'm pregnant, I'm beautiful, it's fine, things are good, but then you grow and you just kind of sometimes feel yucky. And so my first tip is to recognize that this is actually bothering you, that it's an issue. And I think that was my first thing that I needed to do, was to recognize that this was bothering me. And I should have done this like 2 minutes ago, but for those of you who are new, I am currently pregnant with my 5th baby. I'm around 32-ish weeks at the time of this recording. And I'm getting big. So I had to recognize first that it was an issue and it was bothering me. And sometimes when you get weighed down, just naming it is the first step to solving it and to helping you to work through it. So I can tell you some of the thoughts that I was thinking, that I'm just big, I'm round, I don't love my hair right now. On a pregnancy annoying whim back in October when I was first pregnant and really sick, I chopped off like 8 inches of my hair. And I don't like my hair short, and so I've struggled with my hair. I also have more gray hair, and I feel like I've been having more eye wrinkles, and I just let all of these things start to weigh on me and to really make me feel like I wasn't pretty enough, I wasn't good enough, that this weight gain was kind of disgusting and annoying, and being pregnant had caused all these problems. And it took me a day or two. I'm not always on top of it either. But once I recognized that they were bothering me, I realized that those thoughts are not helping me. Even my husband pointed out, he's like, you know what, you've been in some really like deep thoughts lately. And I know he was meaning negative thoughts by the tone of his voice. And him saying that and then me taking time to recognize what those thoughts were has helped me, and it can help you. So one of the thoughts that helped me is to realize that the devil, the adversary, Satan, he is trying to drag me down and to make me feel like pregnancy is something I never want to do again. Because I don't feel beautiful, because I feel big, because I feel fat, because I do stupid things like cut 8 inches of my hair off. And he was trying to drag me down. And once I realized that it was the adversary that was trying to get at me, it was like I wanted to turn those thoughts around. I wanted to, instead of feeling all those ugly thoughts, I wanted to feel the good thoughts that I know God wants me to feel. And so when I recognized it and I realized that that is just the adversary trying to get under my skin and that I want to shift those away, it helped me to find a little bit more positivity and to get away from all this negative funk that I have been stuck with gaining weight and growing a belly and just being bigger. So that is the second tip, is to realize the adversary is trying to drag you down. The third tip is what I just mentioned, and that is to choose to shift. So instead of thinking those thoughts, I chose to think other thoughts. When I get in this place, I like to remember that it's okay to have love and possess love for myself, and that as I possess more love for myself, it gets easier to be a little bit more positive. So I would just use this simple phrase, I love and accept you, Jocelyn. Or even simpler than that, I love you. So choose to shift away from those thoughts. I didn't automatically go from I feel huge to I feel skinny or I feel beautiful. But I found thoughts that could resonate with me and that helped me to be more positive. I love and accept you, Jocelyn. And sometimes I just hang on to one thought. I don't really change it up. I just hang on to that one thought. And other times I like to change it up and say, my pregnant body is beautiful. My body is amazing. I am incredible. And these marks of age are beautiful. The gray hairs, the wrinkles, they are making and defining me, and I choose to feel beautiful. I think part of the problem was also that I haven't really been getting ready as much as I used to before pregnancy. Like I wasn't doing my makeup very often. And so just when you look in the mirror and you're used to seeing yourself with makeup and you don't see yourself with makeup, that also wears on you. So I encourage you, if you are one of those women who enjoys wearing makeup, to also try to do a little bit more makeup more often. Because when you look in the mirror and you see that, it makes you feel a little bit better than sometimes we tend to feel without makeup. And I know there's a lot of mindset work that could be done around that. We're not going to get deep into that right now. Just know that getting ready can actually make a difference in the way you feel about your belly, your body, and your pregnancy. And I keep getting ahead of myself, but the fourth tip, which I just already talked about, was to find the affirmations that do work for you. Like I mentioned, sometimes it's hard to go from the direct, the direct negative to the direct positive. So like instead of thinking I feel fat to I feel skinny, or I feel ugly to I feel beautiful. Sometimes for some of us that can seem like a little hard and too much of a stretch. So that's why you need to find the affirmations that work for you. Use mine if you need to. Just go back to love. Love is so powerful. And as we implement more of that love into our lives and for ourselves and for our body, for our beautiful pregnant body, for the baby that's growing within, and for how amazing it is, it gets so much easier to find positivity. I have been like a load lighter today because yesterday and today, I've chosen to focus on more positive thoughts and not let the adversary drag me down. Satan wants you to lose, but God wants you to find joy in this pregnancy, even though it seems really hard and really impossible. It is little things like these 4 steps I talked about in the episode today that can help you to be okay with growing a body, growing a body within your body, getting big and growing a pregnant belly. If you struggle with the positive thoughts, I have a mini course for you. It's mini because all the videos are short. They're like, I think the longest one is either 6 or 8 minutes long, and the rest are like down below that. 2 to 6 minutes, I believe, is how long they are. And there's 42 of them that can help you. If you want to see like the titles of these, I think my course, you don't have to buy it to see the titles of all the videos. I'll have to double check on that. I hope I'm right. But there is more information on my website about this course. It is the top link in the show notes, and it can help you to be positive during pregnancy. I wanted to sum up the 4 tips because I kept getting ahead of myself. The first one was to recognize that growing a body and being big is bothering you. The second tip is to realize that Satan is trying to grab you down. The third tip was to choose to shift. Choose to find better thoughts. And the fourth tip was to find affirmations or positive thoughts that work for you. If you find that this podcast helps you and has helped you in your pregnancy, I encourage you to share it with other mothers. But as I mentioned in the beginning of this episode, also give it a rating and review, because that's another way to share it with mothers, is just by giving it a rating and review on iTunes. Thank you for listening. But most of all, thank you for implementing what you've learned into your life for more positivity in this pregnancy. Until next time. Thank you for being a part of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts for a better you in a positive pregnancy, in losing that stubborn baby weight, and becoming the mom you desire to be, through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. I can help you find the small, doable steps without drastic changes to your everyday mom life. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time.